And it says, verse 1, set the trumpet to your mouth. He shall come like an eagle against the house of Yahweh, because they have transgressed my covenant and rebelled against my law. He, as in the enemy, and as many nations in the past, like for instance Rome, well, the Nazis in Germany, the Amalekites, which are the main enemy of Israel, which came from Esau, Israel's brother. All these used the eagle as their symbol. Even the tribe of Israel, Dan, is connected with the eagle and is also connected with negative things. Reason why is not found amongst the chosen tribes of Revelation 7. Here we see that it starts saying, set the trumpet to your mouth. Like in the book of Revelation, we see the 7 trumpets that will sound in the last week of Daniel. It says in Hebrew, shofar. What else? As I have explained also, and as Paul said it, Yahweh would manifest during the harvest again as the great malach with the great trumpet or the great shofar. So now that Hosea, representing the second coming of salvation, meaning of Hosea, yet Hosea being the prophet, who therefore represents the prophet like Moshe promised to him in Deuteronomy 18. So in this chapter we see that Yahweh tells the prophet to put the shofar to his mouth so that he can let everybody know what is about to happen. Just like the malach of the last trumpet would be Michael, who is the one who gathers the chosen few. After that it says, set the trumpet to your mouth. He shall come like an eagle against the house of Yahweh. So the eagle is an animal used by nations that have come against Israel many times. And also the eagle is an impure animal, and it represents those who steal or those who take from others, those who take from those who work, pretty much. And therefore thieves and many other things. And what I mean pretty much is that there are many thieves who are in high positions, and those are the main ones to which it is referring. So therefore also the main empire which takes advantage of the people, like an eagle takes advantage by their sight being on top and just goes down and takes whatever they want. Plus in the book of Revelation, well, and in Matthew, for instance, in Luke 17, Matthew 24, and Mark 13, we see that when the harvest happens, the chosen few must run to the mountains, as Yahushua said it, and then there will be 2 in one house, one will be taken and one will be left. Christians take that verse to say that that is the rapture, yet they don't take into account the first person who actually ran away and who actually listened to the words of Yahushua. That's why the disciples then ask Yahushua, Mashiach, who or what happens to those who are taken away? And Yahushua says that wherever you see the vultures, some translations write the eagles, as in about to eat their flesh, there you will see their corpse or their dead bodies, as it is written in Matthew, I repeat, and Luke 17, but in Matthew is where they add the word to bodies, even though when you see the concordance, the word that should be there is corpse or dead body, but they just write body and they write eagles instead of vultures. So they make a whole doctrine regarding that, and they claim that that is the rapture. But the point is that since the eagle and the vulture are family, then in the concordance we find those 2 animals for the same word. That is also connected with this verse when the enemy will feed off people. So he shall come like an eagle against the house of Yahweh, because they have transgressed my covenant and rebelled against my law. So since the people transgress the law, then Yahweh allows the enemy to attack them. The enemy wouldn't be able to do anything to us, Satan or whoever The enemy maybe wouldn't be able to do anything to us ever if we fulfill the law according to the will of the Father, not according to the letter or yeah, we know you. So it says, to me they will cry, my mighty one, we know you, Israel. So this is key because, as we know, many people claim to believe in the Almighty, and this is very similar to what Yahushua said regarding the parable of the 10 virgins, or those who will come to him and say, but we cast demons in your name, we heal the sick in your name, we did this and that in your name. Yet Yahushua will turn to them and say, go away, for I do not know you, evildoers. So part of the interpretation of all of that is the fact that people claim to believe in him, but they don't actually seek his presence, so they don't come to know him, so they don't know that they actually are praying and worshiping and following a different entity, a different spirit, the spirit of error, which leads them to a false messiah, a different way. So that's why there will come a point when they will be amazed and confused, and they will say, we know you. What is happening? We know you. Yet through their actions, through their words, it is clear that they didn't. When they rejected, for instance, in this case, which we're talking about the end times, when they rejected 2 witnesses. So this next verse actually confirms that which I was saying, that it has to do with the fact that they rejected 2 witnesses. So it says, Israel will cry to me, my mighty one, we know you. Israel has rejected the good. The enemy will pursue him. As I was saying, if we were to do what is good in the eyes of Yahweh, then the enemy wouldn't be able to pursue us. But since Israel rejects the good, then the enemy is able to hurt the people. But not only that, as I was saying, this represents the fact that they reject the second coming. Yahushua, when he came as the tree of life. He came to give us life eternal through our faith in him, as eating of the fruit, since he was hanged from a tree, or a cross made of wood from a tree. So the last is the tree of knowledge of good and evil, in the sense that he fell in sin because he is son of men, and as it is prophesied in the parable of the prodigal son and many other parts of scriptures, the one who would come from the tribe of Joseph, unlike Yahushua HaMashiach, who would come from the tribe of Yehudah or Judah. So the last that comes from Joseph would come as the prodigal son, the son of men, from a regular couple. So unlike Yahushua, who came from a virgin. So that's why it says here, they rejected the Tov. They have rejected what is good. And as I was saying, the last comes as the tree of good. But since he was like the prodigal son, he knew what he was to do wrong, and he chooses to do good and follow Yahweh. So Yahweh reveals to him what is good, and therefore he reveals it to the world. Yet the world rejects him and chooses instead evil. So the last comes to show what is the true goodness of Yahweh, or who is Yahweh, who is good. As Yahushua said, when they call him good, he said, why do you call me good? There is only one who is in the heavens. So he himself said not to be this one, Tov, because Yahushua, I repeat, is the tree of life. The last comes as the tree of knowledge of Yahweh, through Yahushua the way, who gives wisdom. The last gives understanding. So here we see that they will reject, Israel will reject, and meaning the many of the world who claim to believe, but most will reject the 2 witnesses, one of which comes as the tree of knowledge of good, which in Hebrew is Tov. And right here it says they have rejected Tov, the good one, or that which is good. So their enemy will pursue them. Interestingly enough, also when it says rejected, the verb in Hebrew says zanach. Yet if we take away the first letter zayin, we have Noach, which is the name of the one who built the ark, and to whom Yahushua referred when he said, the coming of the Son of Man would be like the days of Noah. So it mentions the Tov, and the name Noah is hidden in there. And once they reject the last, they kill who comes as what is Tov, is when the enemy, the Satan, as the false Messiah, will appear on earth and deceive and then pursue the many and kill them. Obviously, those who reject him, who reject the mark of the beast.